both internet freedom and the security of the internet in China, and we've asked them for an explanation.
Earlier, China defended its online policies in its first official word over the Google row. It says its internet is open and welcomes foreign internet firms to do business within the law in the country. But Google is still hoping that it can work with Chinese authorities to find a way to offer uncensored searches in China. It has not set a deadline for breaking the impasse. U.S. officials say the Chinese ambassador to the U.S. is likely to be summoned to the State Department in the coming days. They say it's too soon to tell how Google's threat to leave China will affect bilateral ties. But Washington says that a free flow of information is crucial to the Chinese economy.
There are, business standards and expectations, international norms that you expect your business partners to live up to. And, we have had multiple conversations, with China about, activity both in this area and more broadly. So, we have a mature relationship with China. We have an extensive economic relationship with China. We have had, various issues and disagreements that have cropped up over time with China. We have, raised this issue today in saying that we have serious concerns about this and its ramifications.
Japan has ended its naval refueling mission supporting the U.S.-led war in Afghanistan. The move fulfills a pledge by Prime Minister Yukio Hatoyama's government, which has vowed a more equal relationship with the U.S. The Japanese defense minister has ordered the two warships involved in the mission to return home from the Indian Ocean. They have been supplying fuel and water to vessels used by international forces in Afghanistan for the past 8 years. The ships will do their last refueling later today before heading back home. Mr. Hatoyama pledged to end the operation when he took office in September last year. 1 month later, Tokyo informed Washington of its decision. With the end of this mission, Mr. Oyama had pledged to step up aid to Afghanistan. He's offered $5 billion over the next 5 years to help to rebuild the war-torn country. Now, for more on this, we are joined by our Japan Bureau Chief, Michio Ichida, who is in Tokyo. Michio, could you tell us what's next after this refueling mission ends tonight?
Well, the Hatoyama government has in the past mentioned it wants to provide humanitarian support to Afghanistan. And, as you said, that Tokyo will provide $5 billion in 5 years. But no specifics have been unveiled so far. And some analysts have been expressing concerns Japan may go back to its checkbook policy. But Defense Minister Toshimi Kitazawa said today he wants to continue to provide a similar support to what the country has so far, which may mean to mobilize the self-defense force. He said that's the request he's been hearing and will discuss option within his ministry. But such action is likely to draw strong opposition from the Social Democrats, the Hatoyama government's coalition partner. UN.
All right, so we have the end of this mission in a few days, and Japan and the U.S. will mark their 50th anniversary of Security Alliance in a few days as well. So still ties have been strained in recent months. How do you see this relationship moving forward?
Well, with regards to the 50th anniversary of the Security Alliance, there seems to be, at least on the surface, not much impact. There are reports high-level officials of the Japanese Foreign Ministry and the Defense Ministry in Washington to launch talks on strengthening ties, and Tokyo and Washington have agreed that such meetings should take place once a month. But some analysts say the fact that the Hatoyama government has not put on the table an alternative to the refueling activity will not help ties. And the Hatoyama government has already been unhelpful with the relocation of the U.S. Marines in Okinawa.
All right, thanks, Michio. Do stay on the line. We will come back to you again on another issue out of Japan. Japan Airlines is moving one step closer to bankruptcy after drawing down $1.6 billion in emergency funding. Prime Minister Yukio Hatoyama is also set to decide on when the carrier will begin a state-led restructuring. Sources say that Asia's largest airline will file for bankruptcy protection as early as Tuesday. Japan's transport minister has said he will meet with Mr. Hatoyama to set the so-called X day. That's a term widely used by the media and bankers working on JAL's restructuring to refer to when it will file for bankruptcy. Japan's flagship carrier is in deep debt with about $16 billion in losses. Shares of JAL lost about $1.8 billion this week alone over fears of its imminent bankruptcy and delisting from the Tokyo Exchange. Well, we're joined by Michio Ichida again. Michio, any idea when X Day is likely to happen, and could you please take us through what's expected?
Well, we have been hearing reports here that Japan Airlines will file for bankruptcy on January 19th. And as to its rehabilitation plan, we're hearing a number of reports on what the Enterprise Turnaround Initiative Corporation hopes to achieve. They include cutting the number of employees